And then Jackie.
Yep, and we're recording, so whenever
All
you're...
right. Well, good evening to the Board of Selectmen informational session for April 6, 2021, 6:30 p.m. Note up front that this is going to be the last informational session. With election Thursday, we'll have a full Board of Selectmen proper meeting next Tuesday. Starting off as usual, any public input? Jackie's checking the chat room, see if there's anybody.
It doesn't look like there's anyone at this time.
All right, let's move right ahead then. And I think Tom is up next, our interim town administrator. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. If you're interested in ordering a printed copy of our annual town report, you may order it at wenhamma.gov/town report by April 12th and to be picked up at Town Hall in late April. Digital versions will be available online mid-April, so time's running out to April 12th, so please step up and order your copy if you wish. Warrants for the annual town meeting. Well, I should really memorize this one by heart by now. Warrants for the annual town meeting will be available online by mid-April and delivered to your house via the postal service by April 24th. If there's any questions on either the town report or the town meeting, you may call our office at 978-468-5520 extension 2, or our team at nroebuck@wenhamma.gov. Our trash collection request, reminding our residents again that Casella has implemented a new mechanical arm truck which allows for more efficient collection. So you residents, you're asked to leave 3 feet between all bins at the curb, so the mechanical arm has enough space to deploy on either side of the trash bin. It's very important because if it doesn't have enough space, your trash can get spilt, and that's nothing we want to see. Your serial number on your trash bin should also face the street. Any questions, please contact Sheila in the DPW office at 978-468-5520 extension 6. Town Hall has reopened this week on a part-time schedule. Monday and Wednesday, 1 o'clock to 4:30. Tuesday and Thursday, 9 to 12. And Friday, we remain closed to the public. Please remember that masks are required to enter the building and social distancing measures are in place to protect our team and visitors. Members of the public will be asked to sign in for contact tracing purposes if needed. Next, again, reminding about our affordable housing opportunities. Wenham Pines is having their lottery for 2 units for the 55 and older community, condominium community, but young household members are welcome as part of that community group. We have for purchase a 1 2-bedroom unit at $130,000 and a 3-bedroom unit at $150,000. Income limits do apply. First person is for $44,800. If there's 2 persons, $51,200. 3 are at $57,600, and if it's 4, it's $63,950. Applications are due April 15th for the April 20th lottery, also via Zoom. The second property is 2B Stockwell Lane. It's a rental unit, 2-bedroom unit equipped with a laundry and off-street parking, available for rent for $1,840 per month, which includes trash and recycling only. There's income limits applying for this one also. Higher limits, the 1 person is $67,400, 2 persons $77,000, 3 persons $86,650, and 4 persons $96,250. Applications are due April 15th for April 21st lottery, also via Zoom. Yeah.
We lost you there, Tom.
Okay, I'm back to, I'm back on. Okay. The Resident Budget Forum with the Finance and Advisory Committee this Wednesday, next Wednesday, April 14th at 6:30 via Zoom. You may launch onto it by going onto our website and clicking on to see the meeting. Also, I have some extra reports here, Mr. Chair, if you don't mind.
Go to it.
Okay, first, a roadway update for anybody who may be using Route 128 northbound and southbound from Grapevine Road exit to the Grand Circle in Gloucester. Starting this week, they will be doing closures from Sunday through Thursday from 8 o'clock to 5 a.m. to begin repaving and resurfacing work. This is part of a $16.9 million project. The resurfacing work between those areas will continue through November 21st and resume in the spring of 2022. The entire project expected to be completed in October of 2023. Now we speak about local roads. Public Works Department this week will begin their street sweeping program for 2021, and it should last for approximately 2 weeks, depending upon weather conditions. And by weather conditions, I mean generally rain. Hopefully the snow is gone. Next, and I want to thank our public health team working with Senator Tar for trying to develop a regional vaccine program. Letters have going off from our Board of Health and our Board of Selectmen supporting the state to look at a regional vaccine program for our area, and we wish them the best. And I want to thank the Board of Health and our health team for working on this. It's a very important program and very supportive of it. 2 updates on positions. We have just appointed our interim burial agent via the Cemetery Commission. Keith Carter of our DPW will be our interim burial agent through at least the end of June. So we wish Keith the best of luck, and thank you to our cemetery team for that. Our other position that is open that we are interviewing the 2 finalists tomorrow is a conservation coordinator. Both candidates are very qualified and looking forward to moving forward to filling that vacant spot. Last item, and this is for I've been talking with the chair about this. When we have a full board, we have tentatively scheduled on May 11th. That will be after we have the 3rd member elected. I've been working on the FY19, FY20 board's goal setting project back a couple of years ago. And we're updating all the various goals where the board had proposed back in 2019. And I'll be giving a report on that during May, either at the May 11th meeting or May 18th meeting, where we are. And with the new board, hope maybe during the summer, they'll be setting new goals and new projects to be looking forward to in the upcoming years. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Tom. So Mary Beth with us tonight to give us a COVID update.
I certainly am, Mr.
Yes.
Chairman. Thank you so much. So the case count as of this evening, 266 confirmed cases, 22 probable cases, currently 18 active cases. So between last Wednesday and today, we have had 10 new cases in Wenham. Very unfortunate. I was asked by a resident for an update on the number of deaths in Wenham, and that stands at 6. And we express our condolences to those families. So this means most likely when the weekly report comes out, we will jump from green to yellow. And I was just trying to look up, I believe it's greater than 25 is what counts as moving from yellow to red. And we, from the report I just ran, we are at 25. So we are in yellow by the skin of our teeth, which is not a good situation. I would say to residents that on a call with the Department of Public Health, the state epidemiologist, Dr. Catherine Brown, has indicated that the B117 variant, the one that was originally identified from the UK, is community spread in Massachusetts at this point. So that is the variant that is much more virulent is not the right word. It's more virulent, but it's much more highly transmissible. And I would say that both in Hamilton and Wenham, we are seeing significantly higher transmission among young children that we have been seeing thus far in the pandemic. So driving down 1A, I saw lots of people out getting exercise, which is wonderful. I saw very, very few face coverings in place. It's going to be really important for all of us during this time where some of us have been vaccinated, but not all of us. We are not near herd immunity yet, and where we have these circulating variants that are very transmissible, to please really focus on the things that we know work. So one of the things that the CDC has come out with is that with the variants, it may be worthwhile, and I would encourage residents to consider not only single masking, but now double masking, that can cut down on the transmission of the COVID virus. I'm going to defer the issues about vaccination to Jackie's update a little bit later. Testing remains unchanged from previous weeks, in that you can find the link on our COVID page to access, or you could Google mass.gov, stop the spread testing. They're not really using those terms anymore, but you can still access the state map and find all of the different locations to find testing available. I will just say the schools have undertaken pool testing. So that means staff and student families who have opted in, provided their consent, are getting pool tested once a week, which is to identify asymptomatic individuals. The symptomatic people are not coming to school, but the asymptomatic individuals who may be able to infect others but not showing symptoms will be identified by that pool testing. So that's something that the state has provided through the Department of Elementary and Secondary Ed funding for. And so that is another mitigation strategy in place in our two communities, which can affect not only the schools, but our general population as well, because we all move about in different places. So that's an important mitigation strategy for the safety of our community. And I think that's all I have for an update for tonight. Be happy to entertain any questions as needed.
So Mary Beth, one question, is there any information on how it's being transmitted? Is it coming typically from workplaces into the home, or through sports, or how are people bringing so many cases into Wenham?
So I don't have an easy answer for you about that. Every person's situation is a little bit different, but we are hearing more as we do the case investigations about gatherings. So people getting together with other people, not wearing face coverings, not being distant. So it's a relaxation, the behavior relaxation of the mitigation strategies that seems to be contributing to the transmission.
Very well. So all we can do is reinforce the mask, and as you say, consider and probably protect your kids, and use the double mask when you're outside.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Well, tonight I'm going to call on Chief Perkins to introduce our new full-time police officer, Michelle Princey. Over to you, Chief.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for having us. As you mentioned, our newest full-time police officer is Michelle Princey. She's with us here tonight. Michelle comes to the Wenham Police Department as a new officer, but over 7 years of experience with the Mashpee Police Department. She has a lot of ties to the community. She grew up here in town, as I did, and she is a graduate of the school system, as was I. And she's begun her orientation with us. I won't call it training, because she actually comes to us with more training than I've actually acquired in 30 years. She's a member of the active member of the Military Armed Forces Reserves, and I imagine that's a great asset for her training as well. So if you'd like to say a few words, Michelle?
Sure. I don't really know what you would like to hear, but hello, everybody. I'm Michelle Princey. I did graduate from Hamilton Wenham in 1995. I'm a graduate of the University of South Carolina for my undergraduate degree in criminal justice, and my master's is from UMass Lowell. I just left Mashpee Police Department. I'm sorry, I'm at dinner right now with my brother. So I left the Mashpee Police Department about a week ago. And for the past 6 months, I've been on orders with the Air Force down at Otis Air National Guard Base on the Cape. I'm a staff sergeant there, and I'm an intel analyst. I do have a lot of training. I'm a RAD certified instructor. I'm a sexual assault investigator. I just took the FBI 40-hour crisis negotiator course, and FTOing right now with Chad Labrie, and we're working on kind of focusing on community service and community interaction. So
Well, thank you, Michelle, and welcome back to Hamilton Wenham community. Look forward to a long service on the police department from you.
Thank
Anything
you.
else, Chief?
That's all I have for tonight, sir.
All right. Well, thank you. Glad to have new members on the team.
Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right, thank you so much. Nice to meet everybody.
Yes.
Thank you, Michelle.
All right. Chairman's report. So here we are, a year into the pandemic, coming up to another town meeting, but we still have many openings on boards and committees that we need to fill. I've gone through this list. Some of these jobs have quite a bit of workload, others fairly light load, but certainly as we get to town meeting, I hope that we can have people step up and volunteer for these positions. So positions open on Cemetery Commission, Conservation Commission, Council on Aging, the Hamilton Wenham Community Access and Media, the Hamilton Wenham Cultural Council, Historic District Commission, the Iron Rail Commission, the Open Space and Recreation Committee, and the Zoning Board of Appeals. So I know going through the street listing that there's plenty of people out there in the town that have good backgrounds for these jobs, and certainly people have been expressed interest in open space and so forth for the town. So here's your chance to step up and be part of the government. All right, special town election. Here we are, Thursday, April 8th, starting at 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. at the town hall. We have the selectman position and the town clerk position. The selectman position is for the one remaining year on the term going through the 2022 annual election. And the town clerk will be for a 2-year term running through the 2023 annual town election. So town hall will be open for the election. Please use the back door coming in. It'll be one-way traffic through the building, so everybody will stay safe, and we'll keep the 6-foot spacing in place, and also remember to bring face mask coverings. So let's have a good turnout for this special election, and we'll get the Board of Selectmen reconstituted. Then on the 1st of May, there's the annual town meeting, will be at Pingree Park under the tent. Parking will be at the library and from the Main Street access in the grass and the parking lot area there. So again, we've got all the safety positions filled. Fire, police will be standing by. People will need to bring your mask, and we'll have the chair setups for proper social spacing. And looking towards the articles, I don't think it'll be too long a meeting, especially as we anticipate no override this year and no real controversial subjects. But do please turn out. We need the quorum, and we need to have people just participate in government. Thank you. Right after the town meeting on the 6th Thursday will be the annual town election, 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Same thing at the town hall. We have, let me see, April 9th coming up. So last day to register is upon us. April 30th is the last day to request an absentee ballot. And May 5th, the day before at noon, is the deadline if you want to absentee vote in person. That's basically voting early. And we have people running for each of these positions, but the more participation would have been great. Board of Assessors, Board of Health, Board of Selectmen, the Hamilton Wenham Library Trustees, the Hamilton Wenham Regional School Committee, Moderator, Planning Board, Water Commission, and the Wenham Housing Authority. Thank you. All right, so continuing in our list of briefings, started with police back in, I think, early February. So we've gone through most of the departments, and I hope the public is getting well informed as to what our town government is working on. Tonight, Jackie Bresnahan will provide us with the details on her multitask, multilateral job as Director of Administrative Services. Over to you, Jackie.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So for folks that don't know me or who have not turned into these meetings as much, my name is Jackie Bresnahan. I'm the Director of Administrative Services. I've been with the town for about 5.5 years now, and my roles looked a little bit different throughout those years. So it's a bit multifaceted, working with permitting and Board of Health, but also serving as part of administration and doing special projects. So these are just some updates about what's going on with some of the projects and departments that I work with regularly. So in permitting, we do have an interim building inspector at this time, and hopefully they will be formally appointed next week when we have a quorum on the select board again. But for those who have not met yet, not him, we have Richard serving as our interim building inspector. You may remember him. He used to serve as the commissioner for Danvers, and he's been one of our backup inspectors for several years now. And he is serving in that post on an interim basis right now until we are able to hire the full-time role once again. We're also preparing for the transition to Hamilton as of July 1 for the inspectional services shared program. For residents that are looking to do construction or maybe working on a project right now, all the administrative, clerical, scheduling, filing will all remain in Wenham. So Wenham Town Hall, Wenham Permitting Office will still be the home base for all of your project and permitting needs. It's the payroll, HR function, and management that will transition to Hamilton. So nothing will really look different for residents. We'll still have our same schedule, our same inspectional capacity, but the management will go towards Hamilton. We also recently renegotiated our agreement for online permitting. We've been using the same software for a few years now. It's called the Acela Civic Platform. I'm really happy with this software. We received grant money from the statewide Community Compact IT program to transition to this software a few years ago and have all of our data brought over. And it's actually been really, really amazing to have this software in place prior to the pandemic because we didn't really lose a step when it came to the paperwork side of permitting when the pandemic hit last year. So I'm pleased that we're going to move forward with this. We are, restructuring how we're using it a little bit and reducing the number of users. So that way we can reduce some costs, and that's reduction in costs has been incorporated in our FY22 budget request that will be going to town meeting. I'm also currently serving on the hiring panel for the Conservation Open Space Coordinator position. So I look forward to meeting those finalists again tomorrow as part of that team. I work very closely with the Land Use Office, Conservation and Planning. So I'm excited to see that new person come on board. I'm also currently serving on the bylaw regulation review core team that the Land Use Department is working on for the grant funded bylaw review group. They've hired the consultant Weston and Sampson. So myself, as well as the health agent and the building inspector, are serving on that core team as we have for similar projects in the past. And then also for permitting, we've got our regular clerical and administrative work that's going through the office, especially now that it's spring and people are very excited to get out and either DIY or hire contractors to get work done. In terms of Board of Health, we're still actively working on COVID-19 response. I've also been working with the towns of Hamilton, Essex, and Manchester by the Sea on a public health grant opportunity that's come up. Folks that might be tuning into the Board of Health meetings might be familiar with this. But it's an exceptional grant opportunity in that we would get 3 years of funding for 2 full-time positions. And this would give us additional public health nursing capacity, especially as we figure out what public health looks like for Wenham and our area communities outside of the pandemic. And it would also add a full-time social worker who would be split between the 4 communities. So I think that is going to be a really great addition, and I'm optimistic that that grant will be supported. And it'll give us some really much needed capacity as we figure out what public health looks like for all generations of Wenham residents as we start to transition out of pandemic into whatever's next. We've also been working on an application with Hamilton, Essex, Manchester by the Sea, Ipswich, Gloucester, and Rockport, as well as Conley's Pharmacy in Ipswich for a Cape Ann region area mass vaccination site. And I want to thank Conley's of Ipswich, Senator Tarr's office, and Representative Hill's office. They have been working with all 7 communities. And Conley's will be our lead in terms of supply and pharmaceutical support in We are optimistic that we will submit this to Secretary Sutter's office soon, and hopefully have a regional floating site on the North Shore between a couple of locations so that those residents interested in getting vaccinated more locally will have another option. We do still continue to work with residents who need help connecting with appointments. So if you're struggling to utilize the state website or you have technology needs, please do reach out to the Board of Health office at 468-5520, and we'd be happy to connect you and try to help you book an appointment online. We're also currently processing our financials from our flu and COVID-19 vaccine clinics. So we do take in some revenue as the Board of Health for the different vaccines that we provide to residents. We take in that money from insurance companies that we bill. And then all of the money that we receive from the vaccine clinics goes to buying the next year's vaccine. So with the addition of the COVID vaccine clinics, we will see a little bit of additional revenue this year, not as much as we see from our flu reimbursements, but there will be a little bit, and that'll all contribute to us purchasing flu vaccine for this coming fall, because in Board of Health, we're already thinking about your October flu vaccine appointment. And in the next few weeks, we'll be starting to prepare our orders to the vaccine supply companies to get ready for flu 2021, which sounds really far away, but is coming up quickly. And then we're seeing some regular permitting and working with the board as they have their meetings. And then lastly, on the admin special project side, I'm continuing management and upkeep of the town's social media channels. If you do not follow us, please do check us out on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Town of Wenham MA. And as Nikki so nicely put in our PowerPoint, so you can always check us out on those channels, and we're happy to connect with you in that way. Recently, I've worked with the finance director to complete the annual and capital budgets for annual town meeting. And in the next day or so, I'm finishing up the warrant book document for the printer, and that should be online in probably hopefully by the end of business this week. And working with FinCom on their budget forum for next week as well with the finance director. We are also advertising tomorrow for our summer internship program, and we have some wonderful internship opportunities available this summer. Our land use department is looking for a specific intern, and then we're usually looking for 3 to 4 general interns between administration and the permitting office for this summer. These folks get to do a wide variety of projects. So if you know a high school undergraduate or graduate person who's interested in local economics, political science, governance, even marketing can be a really helpful tool for us. Land use, law, pre-law, anything that you think fits well with the municipality, please have them reach out to me. We've been developing the internship program for about 4 years now, and I'm really proud to say that a lot of our interns have moved on from their undergraduate or graduate educations to attend law school, graduate business programs, and some do work for municipalities and the Commonwealth of Massachusetts now. So we've had some really strong candidates from our internship program, and I look forward to getting some additional applicants this summer as we look to bring this program back into full force for the summer. I've also been recently sitting in with Tom on some regional collaborations, including the mass vaccination program, as well as the regional IT, and starting to get caught up to speed on that. I've also just been working with some of the other department heads, providing some institutional knowledge on different ongoing issues and projects. And then the one thing I did want to bring up tonight is that I'm really excited to announce that we're still planning to host a Citizens Academy this fall, probably in some kind of hybrid model. But as folks that have been engaged with the town for a little while know, this has been a really great program to help people feel empowered and knowledgeable about how our community works. It's a great stepping stone if you're interested in going for an appointed or an elected board or committee. And we do have a lot of folks that are on our appointed and elected boards that are graduates of the Citizens Academy. So I look forward to having another full cohort of the Academy this fall, and more details will come this summer to be announced through the selectmen's meetings as well as the website and social media. So it's just a bit of a snapshot of what I'm working on right now between all those various departments.
Well, thank you, Jackie. And as many of our town employees do, you have a wide range of responsibilities well executed. And I hope the public recognizes the great work that's going on. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, new business. As this is the last session and next week we anticipate a formal Board of Selectmen meeting, preliminary preview for you, a couple items that will be coming up there. So first off, we have a couple of necessary appointments to make that we'll have an interim moderator for the town meeting appointed, and we'll have the registrars appointed. Also, a significant policy change for some time working up through our representative to the Eastern Essex Veterans District and through the Veterans Committee. We've making a plan to shift from the Eastern Essex over to the Cape Ann District. This is a positive thing for cost savings and also will make us contiguous geographically with the Cape Ann District. And so I anticipate a vote on that coming up at next week's meeting. Before we close here, I do want to say a thank you to our town council, Lauren Goldberg, and to Tom Younger, our interim town administrator, for the great counsel and advice that they provided to myself over the last 9 or so weeks, as we've had this very unique single selectman period going on. Also, thank you to the town employees that have continued the great job that they do every day and moved on with the projects, moved on with their routine business, and have handled the challenges of a pandemic and the extra workload as we approach the town meeting as well. And for those boards and committees out there, you know, I've advertised on these sessions for volunteers, but I think each of the chairmen of the boards and committees need to step up a little bit on their recruiting efforts as well to see if we can get everything fully manned up and fill up those vacancies as we approach the new fiscal year here. So thank you, everyone, and hope that as we reconstitute the Board of Selectmen next week, we'll move on to a new era of town government here. So anything else, Tom?
Nope, just I want to thank you also, Mr. Chair. This has been a unique experience with the one select board member, and you've really worked well with all of us, the town team, and we want to thank you for that.
All right, thank you.
It was a lot of time that you had to spend with us, but thank you very much.
All right. Yeah, Tom has already planned to write his special chapter on how to manage a single selectman town, having done 3 and 5s, but he has an extra chapter now.
I don't
Anybody
think
else have
this is
anything
a
else?
rarity. I think
All
this
right.
is a rarity.
All right. Anybody have anything else?
No, I'm fine.
No hands up? All right, then we'll see you next week after everyone's gone out to vote on Thursday. And next week we'll have a real Board of Selectmen meeting and